Hi, everybody. My name is Stephanie Kraft. My website is stephaniecraft.com. You may have heard spiritual teachers and gurus saying things like, we must achieve a desireless state. We must release all desires. In order to reach full enlightenment, we must have no desires. I have a different opinion on that teaching. We come into this world full of desires. The first cries out of the womb are for food. They're for our mother's touch, skin to skin contact, nursing, sucking. We are born full of desires. Those desires are for survival. Without them, we would die. If we didn't have the hunger, we wouldn't eat. In order to survive in this world, we must have many desires. We must have a desire to work, earn money. It's a fact that we need money somehow for survival on this planet. We need shelter, we need warmth. There are a lot of needs, and in order to achieve these things, desires can be very strong. And they are meant to be. And no, I'm not misinterpreting their teachings. There are many levels to this, and I will get to the higher levels of what they may actually be teaching about. But I'm starting at the base desires for survival. We are born with them. When we are in spirit form, we don't experience physicality. We don't experience hot or cold, hunger. We don't have an emotional body. We come to Earth as a school to learn. It is with the complexity and the intensity of having an emotional body that is a huge challenge when being human, besides the physical extremes of being human and survival and things that we need for physical survival. We're here for mastery, and these things we're trying to master are very much intertwined with having an emotional body and a mental body, none of which we have as spirits in our spirit energy forms. And so to come into a body on Earth, being a human, and to think that we must release desires, it's actually working against our human nature. And it's working against the flow of everything that we are. We are electromagnetic beings. And through our desires, we magnetize to ourselves that which we desire by attraction. We can also push and repel things away, also as magnets do. When we have fear, when we have lack mentality, we can push things away, even things that we want. I have read that in order to master the earth plane, master being human, we must learn to manipulate energy. We must become powerful creators, energy creators. Well, we're always creating via energy. Everything is energy. So what does this mean? Well, we need to learn that we are powerful creators and that we do create. How do we create? Everything begins in spirit and it trickles down into the mental realm, thought. With thought paired with emotion, we can create. We can create, and then we bring it into the physical through our body, through doing, through manifesting. So, in the absence of desire, what would we do? We wouldn't be being human. We wouldn't even be participating in humanity, in within ourselves, how we were meant to be here. And so we could think that the sages and the gurus and the spiritual teachers are trying to quell strong desires that don't serve. Well, maybe this is true, and maybe this is the basis of their teaching. I'm going to be honest with you, I haven't followed those types of teachers in my lifetime. But I have heard in passing these types of phrases, these types of teachings that are out there. So I've never really looked into them. I didn't even look into them before making this video to see if I got it right. But it's enough to know that these phrases and teachings are out there, even at that superficial level of not understanding them deeply, because this is how rumors get passed, meaning these are, one-liners, these teachings. Become desireless to achieve full enlightenment. Well, we don't have to look into it deeply if these are being passed around as ideas, because we need to dissect this even at the superficial level without understanding that what they're talking about deeply, because it's in opposition to our nature, to what we have come here to master. So, for example, if a person is on that path, listening to one of the spiritual teachers that is telling them, you must release all desire, imagine trying to do that. Imagine having desire and then pushing hard, working hard, striving to release that desire. Oh, it's raining. I wish it were sunny today. Oh, darn it. I'm supposed to not have any desires. Imagine that's a student with these teachings, right? Oh, gosh, I'm having a craving for ice cream. Oh, no, darn it. I'm not supposed to have any desires. Well, every time something like this arises, in the trying to attain the lack of desire, there's still a desire, and that desire is to attain a lack of desire. So can you see how contradictory it is? Can you see how it's a constant struggle? Can you see how you're constantly not good enough, not getting it? Why? Because you're in opposition to your very humanity, your humanness. Isn't it normal to have desires to take a walk on a sunny day versus a rainy day? Well, that's not a very good example, because sometimes walking in the rain is very pleasant. But maybe we could say that walking in negative 50 degrees with the wind chill factor, right? I mean, we've all, well, not we all, but I went to college in Wisconsin, Madison, Wisconsin, and I remember one week we had negative 75 degree Fahrenheit during a blizzard, and it was exam week, and you would look out the window and there would be nobody out on the streets. But every 2 hours or so, when exam time would be over and it would be time to switch up classes, you would suddenly see all these people walking really fast on the sidewalk to get to their next exam or get back home to their dorm. Bundled up. I wore 4 pairs of pants, so many layers on top, a big heavy down coat, hat covered. The only thing that was showing were my eyes, and my eyelashes were frozen. Yeah. So imagine walking in that weather and saying, oh, I don't desire it to be warmer than this. No, it's the human nature to be shivering and, trying to breathe that air in before it freezes your lungs, trying to figure out a way to breathe through your scarf so that you don't actually freeze your lungs, and which is not really possible, but you know what I'm saying. The cold air can take your breath away, and it can be very hard to breathe in that frigid temperature. And so nobody's walking around on that street saying, oh, I love this. I could stay out here for another hour. No, they're walking fast. They want to get the blood circulation going so that their muscles don't freeze up, and the fingers and the toes are going to start to go numb and get frostbite. Well, go numb right away, and the frostbite is coming if you don't keep moving and getting to your location inside. And so it's not natural to be overriding human nature to feel no desire. Okay, so that's just an example that I just remembered. This whole talk is a stream of consciousness, and I can't even remember what got me there. But the whole topic is related to, is it really healthy to be trying to become desireless? Isn't that in a juxtaposition against being human? And if it's true, as they state in the Law of One, that we are here to manipulate energy, not manipulate in a negative way, but learning about the powerful creative energy that we have in order to create, manifest, and manipulate energy. So what does that really mean? What are they talking about? Well, we've all heard about the law of attraction by now, and it's not as simple as they teach it. And we can only really manifest that which is within the realm of our soul desires, right? So the soul has a desire for you in this lifetime because you have agreed to work on certain things, learn and evolve and grow in certain ways. And without the guidance, the prompting from your soul, we've got so much help. We have God, we have our spirit guides, our angels, our spirit teachers, our soul family, our soul, our oversoul, our monad, all of our helpers. And so why do we have all this help when we're living a human life? Because it's really hard to live a life, so we need a lot of support. And so can you imagine if you just dropped all the desires and everybody from the other side would be shouting down to you, hey, like, don't forget what you came here to learn, like, get up, study that book, or read that book, or go there, meet that person. The things that arise within you that are desires, they're inspired thought, inspiration. And so let's see if those sages, gurus, and spiritual teachers are trying to get people to suffer less through having fewer desires. Maybe that's part of their teaching. Maybe they think that with desire comes suffering, and how to release suffering is to release desire. But no, it's releasing attachment that helps you release suffering. So here's the other thing. When you reach a certain level of enlightenment, many, many desires vanish. They go away. This is by grace. This is by achieving a certain level automatically through your soul's development. It is something that occurs without trying, something that occurs very naturally. And like I said, by grace, what we call grace, which is something that can just kind of be bestowed upon you, but really it's your doing without doing. So it can just happen. You can wake up one day in a more enlightened state than you were the day before. And without any striving of your own, you can be in a new place of feeling fewer desires. I hope I'm making sense. It's not something to try, because like I was saying before, if you're trying to release desires, you're working within desire, right? You have the desire to release desire. So there you are still trying. So I think about this sometimes. I think about, why are these gurus teaching this ridiculous thing that's not even compatible with being human? It just doesn't make any sense to me. And you can think about this on so many levels of existence, of life, of why we're here, of what we do here, connections, relationships, work, art, creating, making things, building things, cooking. I mean, every level of human life involves desire. And to try to release that is to deny a human life of its richness, of its value, of all that we came here to be and do. It is through desire that you do all of the things that you came here to do and be and see and experience. So I believe that we should fully embody our desires. Let them motivate you. And I'm not talking about things like being addicted to drugs or any kind of an addiction or dysfunction. That's not what I'm talking about with desires. Everybody knows that when there are unhealthy behaviors, addictions, too much attachment to something, it's innate within us to know that we have to release ourselves from that. It requires no spiritual teaching. That is within our natural humanness, within our natural desire to let go of an unhealthy behavior, to not have things in excess. Everybody knows that. Nobody needs to teach anybody that. We can feel it in our body. The drunk person who's an alcoholic doesn't need anybody to tell them. They may be in complete denial, but they also know. They can deny it to themselves and others, but they know. Of course, people know you're not supposed to live on beer. So sometimes I'm rambling, but sometimes it sounds like I'm reading. I don't write anything down. I just ask God, my higher self, please guide me with whatever I'm supposed to say. And I don't plan ahead and I don't know. So sorry if it seems ever scattered or if it doesn't seem cohesive. This is my style. Sometimes I do better than others, but I wanted to bring this notion across because let's be more forgiving. If you've been trying to follow these types of teachings and you keep trying to fight against yourself, let it go. Drop the resistance. Allow yourself to be your human self. Have the desires. What do you want? It is through your wanting, through your desires, that you're going to get anything in life, right? You can't just sit back and sit on a mountain or sit on your couch and meditate. and not want a thing. That is not why we are here in a physical body, on a physical planet. So maybe don't listen so much to people who call themselves gurus. How about that? All right, everybody. Hopefully, I've given you some food for thought, and that giving you permission to sink more deeply into your humanness. And it is okay. It is fine and it is good. All right, everybody. Have a beautiful night or day, and I will talk to you soon.